and the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young.
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young.
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown letter. Peace.
Young
Be unto you.
TV.
Hit that like.
Can you hear me? Loud and clear. Hey, man. We got some for the Pan-African cats tonight, man. I hope they feelings don't be hurt out to tonight, man. We got so many, man. Rod did something. I got that toilet bowl thing too, man. Rod up in there, man. That's a critical piece right there. So yeah, I was holding it to the night, man. I said, yeah, we're gonna hit him with it. Matter of fact, hey, notice the agent is notice the principal every time me and Chief on, man. Get him on, tell him me and Chief live, y'all. We about to crack heads, add to his caps. Hey, bro, before I roll, we can roll the clips or we can roll the slides, but I want to ask you this. Based on what I see, man, to me, Pan-Africanism was to pan our mind to Africa while they still our land over in America. Hey, they had us all up in Africa, and they saying forget about over here. Seemed like to me, and that was part of a mind game and a misdirection as part of the George Washington challenge to make us. We already talked about it 1,000 times, probably, but what's your thoughts on that?
It got two ways you can look at Pan-Africanism. You can look at it the W.E.B. Du Bois way, or you can look at it the Marcus Mosiah Garvey way.
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't both doing the same thing with the same concept.
Mm-hmm.
Garvey knew that if we educated ourselves and was ambitious enough to go talk to people in Africa, they'd tell us that y'all red ass niggas ain't from over here.
Right.
But when you look at the oral traditions of Western Africa, it's more of them that say they came from over here than it is of us that claim we came from over there.
Right.
It's in their oral traditions. This here is Black Nationalism and Self-Determination, written by Leon Trotsky. The writings of Leon Trotsky in this particular text is him having a discussion about the blueprint for what we call a Black liberation movement. Right? Now, self-determination and nationalism don't always go hand in hand. Those are two different concepts. Self-determination is to put yourself in a position to determine the destiny of yourself and your children. You get to make up the mind how you gonna steer your family when you become head of household. the head of households of the land form up an elders council. And then they each take the lead in the recovery process according to skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Nationalism is declaration of a naval vessel. That's what nationalism is. The declaration of a naval vessel. When you declare your allegiance to a foreign nation or foreign entity, you can only do it by way of admiralty.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this is what they call nationalizing. These, the Black Jacobins, was the ones that our elders been telling us is pulling the strings of the paleface.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we fighting a war with some people that look like us that's hiding behind some people that don't look like us. Then from the people that don't look like us, they isolate a group of mulatto children, offspring from their harems that didn't have heritable birthrights. And then the Jacobins become the bankers.
Right.
Right? Those bankers are barristers. And they all fall under the British Accreditation Society.
That's right.
So the branches of the royal families of Europe didn't operate like the branches of the noble families of the land. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're looking at the adversary that look like us, that ain't us, most of us don't got nobody in our family that dark.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Only them old Mississippians with what we call pure root stock. And the pure root stock had pockets throughout the South. Those are the tribes that we collectively refer to as the ancient ones. Those tribes are broke up into what we call subsidiary tribes. The subsidiary tribe is like Big Mama and Big Papa got a son that's too big for his britches. He's a natural born leader. You can't stifle that. So you assign him his own territory and kick his ass out the house. Because if he grown enough to stand up to Big Papa and Big Mama house, then he need to take his ass out there and take care of himself. That's the code of the chief. That's how you have multiple chiefs. Because the chief is sheep dipped from the heads of household. Yeah, this is somebody posted this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was showing the common dates. Of these key events.
That is funny.
Red House, Blue House. Elijah Red House, Malachi Blue House. Joaquin and Boaz. Right? Then you see the one at the top in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's the risen Hiram. Hiram is risen. Right? And then you see the extraterrestrial craft with the alien gray beings. Right? What is that telling us? Hiram has roles above the ranks of the sky beings based on the works of the Elijah Muhammad and based on the works on the Red House and the works of Malachi on the Blue House.
Mm-hmm.
So the master rolls in the middle pillar. You remember the middle pillar was part of Israel Regardie's Golden Dawn doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Israel Regardie came up as a student of Madame Blavatsky.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Theosophical Society. right? All of these are alien organizations
That's right.
because they are tied into alien information,
That's right.
right? And alien is alien. The lien is handled by the Levite priesthood,
That's
which
right.
is the Jewish bankers, right? And this right here is when they told us that they was at war with us, but we didn't know that they had wrote it until some of us went in and pulled the information out. We went over this once before. You want to read it, El?
Yeah, it says the mandatory act to the Trading with the Enemy Act of August 6, 1917, namely the Emergency Banking Relief Act of March 9, 1933, defined the American people as the enemy legally of the United States government because the United States bankrupt through which the private international federal reserve system became the government creditors of the United States.
Okay, now that being and that in mind, whose job is it to reclaim everything back for the tribe? Whose job is it? Do anybody know whose job it is?
The people seem like
Yeah, but what if they don't know what to do? Then whose job is it?
the chief, the one they looking for. Yeah. Okay.
One of whoever know what to do, he ain't got time to go question everybody. He just have to do the work.
Right.
Right. So the one with the skills, because the elders said the one who knows the way must lead the path.
Right.
That's oral tradition doctrine.
Right.
So now if you don't remember the tribal ways, the chief that remember your part can give you an opportunity to perform the function when they come around you explaining the history. But if you don't figure out what you're supposed to be doing, right, then after a while, you're going to bump back left. And that's going to tell the chief, I don't know what you want me to do. What you doing here? Right? So then that says, okay, they don't remember the tribal customs and traditions and they don't know what to do. So it's obligated for me to just do their part because they don't know what they're doing. That don't make them bad because they still got the blood and the right. They just don't have the ability to do it because they don't remember the tradition. So the one who know the way is their job to walk the path. And that's how you win the race, the last mile of the way.
Mm-hmm. You sent me this, bro?
Probably. I don't know. What is it?
The Honorable Charles Grassley says multiple restrictions on the removal of administration law judges.
Oh, yeah, man. I think I sent that to you like a week ago.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. So everything you sent me in a week ago, I had put it in this file. So
you can read it, though. You can tell them what it say.
28 USCC 530. I am writing to advise you that the Department of Justice has concluded that the multi-layer of removal restrictions for administration law judges, ALJs, in 5 USC 1202 and 75221 violates the Constitution. The department will no longer defend them in court, and the department has taken their position in ongoing litigation. Okay. All right. So yeah, this is talking about how they telling the lower courts, the administrative courts judges that they illegal. Hey, I got a video you sent me too about how they lining up all these sheriff buses and arresting these guys.
Mm-hmm. And look, they this go back to the overturning of the Chevron doctrine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's just a continuation of the process of the identifying the foreign agents acting in the capacity of government, trading with the enemy.
Okay.
right? Because remember, we just went over the Trading with the Enemies Act, right?
That's right. That's right.
Right. And then under that is when we discovered that they had declared war on us. Who is us? The American people.
Right.
Right. Who is the American people? Only the tribes.
Right.
Everybody else is immigrants. They're not American people. They're people in America. That's the difference. So it falls on the ones with the blood and the right to know how to exercise the blood right to reclaim what's rightfully theirs as birthright heirs because they got the blood and the right. If you don't remember the tribal tradition, then I could do your part for you. But first, I got to give you an opportunity to show me that you're not competent to perform the function of your tribal responsibility on your behalf. Then I can do it for you. And if I'm fighting for all of the tribes, I can fight for the interests of everybody just by following the path and exercising all of the tribal rights on behalf of all of the collective tribes. And this is the interim Trump note, right? This is not what it's going to look like. But this was what he posted on his Truth Social. And look what circle. What circle there?
Says federal victory note.
Victory note.
What
do victory mean? What do victory mean?
They overcame, or they won.
What do victory mean? It's the winner.
Right.
I mean the winner. Look, in the ink pot, what's that in the ink pot? You see that ink well in front of them?
Yeah, it look like a bell. Look like
it's the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
Now, why would it be in the ink pot?
That's interesting, Rod. Go ahead.
So weird anomalies draw your attention for a reason. Remember, in order for the matriarchy to exercise the banking rights, we had to be down there in Philadelphia in front of the Liberty Bell. Right? And we was out in the courtyard. Right? And we was standing behind Ben Franklin back, which was a statue of Ben Franklin in the courtyard. The federal, this post came out after we left Philadelphia.
Yeah, I remember you saying it to me right there. Yeah.
Okay, the Liberty Bell was tied to the finance. It was tied to the finance because we was in the warlock because somebody cracked the Liberty Bell.
That's right. In the
right.
Boys. Go ahead.
And the reason the Liberty Bell is cracked because they had interrupted the liberty of the sovereign people of the land. And some people don't know, but there's no time limit on the exercising of your sovereign right. Right. As long as you understand the process, you just got to follow the steps. And I'm telling you, that shit ain't easy. Because I've been following the steps for 7 years to get us here. I had so many other assists to perform along my journey in order to try to clear up as much misinformation over the years as I possibly could so that we'll know the difference between what side of the ocean we came from without nobody having to pound it in our head.
Right. Yeah, so being that you said that brings up this probably.
Right,
the George
because
Washington challenge.
This was the conditions to the sacrifice of Crispus Attucks, because that's what they did. They sacrificed him for his blood in order to bind us in the contract. This is the parameters that we have to educate ourselves above the condition that the conjure magic is imposing. Right? And then they want to convince us that we ain't gonna never investigate it because we are oral traditional people.
Right.
So they said we could tell the truth. We just got to put it in books because them Zenjis ain't gonna read.
Hey, Rod, this is gonna come up. I got a quick question right here because you said that in the AI kind of made a reference to it. You said that Marcus Garvey, when Booker T sent him the smoke signal or the code, come help him, and I see that through his literature. And he was really, I think he was secretly funding Marcus Garvey's moving in Jamaica before he came over here. That's what made Marcus Garvey get connected with him a little bit more. But
there's possibility because he had a lot. He was kind of wealthy for the day. But I don't think that's the case because remember, Marcus Garvey's father owned the printing press.
Yeah, that is true.
And he printed a newspaper in Jamaica.
Okay.
So he wasn't from the poverty class.
Okay.
Right. So that means that he didn't have to come up here for money.
Okay.
Right. So why would he come up here if he's not coming for money? He's coming up here to figure out what the problem is, not based on skin color, but based on what's written in the logs of the secret societies.
Mm-hmm.
As a high-ranking Prince Hall Mason, now he can go into other lodges. All he have to do is know enough about that lodge to get past a first gate. But when he discovered the George Washington Challenge, and then he knew that we had another 100 years to go on the contract.
Mm-hmm.
The blood had to fade out on the contract.
Now, let's get into this guy. Now, Rod, you said that you told me about that Webb had a 10% ideology, and you told me a comparison to the 5% nation, and I got to do it, and I put them in these slides. And so
let's go over them. Let's see what they say.
Yes,
I ain't had a chance to check this out yet. This should be juicy.
Yeah, this is W.E.B. Du Bois talented 10, and the 5% nations, 10% mid-60s use identical numbers to describe entirely different concepts. Okay, a little bit more. The Bois 10% referred to educating the elite meant to uplift the black masses, while the 5% referred to the deception ruling. The 10% refers to a deceptive ruling elite. So pretty much, yeah, right. So the 5% was saying that the 10% was the deceptive elite, versus Du Bois saying, man, we got to only educate the 10%, and they can control the other 90%. The Boulay, the Masons, all these guys had to be the 10%. And then he goes in to break down. Okay, let's go over here. It says in his 1903 essay, Du Bois argued that the black race would be saved by
exceptional men.
Yeah, like the 10%. 10%, this fraction represents the top tier of educated, culture, and college-bred African Americans.
We call them bourgeoisie.
Wow.
Why do we call them bourgeoisie? That's a French term.
That is, right?
It's a French term. Bourgeoisie is a French term.
Mm-hmm.
And the lumpen proletariat is also a French term. Mm-hmm. Where did it come from?
Right.
So the bourgeoisie in France is upper middle class. They right under the royal families in rank.
Go ahead.
But over here, we call them sellout Negroes. Think about that for a minute while we're going over this. Look at what the talented 10th is supposed to do. And when the 5% is warning you about the 10%, who are they talking about? Check it out. Go on, Nelder.
It says the 85%, the uneducated, oppressed masses who do not know the truth about themselves and are easily manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
So then it says the 10%, the wealthy and powerful elites who know the truth but use it, deceive, oppress, and exploit the 85%. Then it says the 5%, the poor righteous teachers who know the truth that the black man is God and are dedicated to walking up,
waking up to 85%.
Yeah. Du Bois ideology top 10% as a salvation for the race. 5% view 10% as the oppressed deceiver. So pretty much the Bois was focused on only educating the boule and the guys at the top, right, with his ideology, pretty much creating the pyramid scheme, the Ponzi scheme. What you think, Rod?
They's training your handlers. The 10%, according to the 5% nation, is your handlers. If you the 85%.
That's right.
The only people care about the 85% that's not in the 85% is the 5% poor righteous teachers just trying to get their attention. The 10% don't care about the interest of the 85%. They just need to be able to capitalize in the capitalist system off the capital generated by the system. Think about it for a minute. Du Bois was a Huguenot. I've been telling y'all, we've been fighting conquistadors and Huguenots under the banner of Moore. We've been fighting the Maru, which became known as the MUUR, but it's really a Maru or Amaru.
That's right.
Right?
That's
and
right.
It literally means I am of Ra. I am a son of the sun.
I can see that.
Amaru. Right? And this is where your I am concept even get into your biblical narrative. Amaru is the one who shined the light of the Father to the children. The Father's son. The Father's chosen son. But it don't mean nothing if he ain't chose by the mother as well. He have to be anointed before the Father can have an opportunity to choose him. The mother line got to anoint him first. That means the blessings has got to come through the mother line for the Father to raise one up like him, a son to eclipse the sun, the second son, in equal brilliance. It's all metaphor for Nibiru. The sun that rise up behind the sun. The sun is the Father and the Son is the Son. So the S-O-N is the S-U-N of the S-O-N being the S-U-N. Like Father, like Son. Parallel denominations. The ability to be able to weave the different tribal intelligences together and able to tell a comprehensive and coherent story following the oral tradition to put all of the tribes into the awareness of how we was deceived and how we was confused into this conjure work. So we have to tell them the mechanics of blood magic so we can unlock the blood magic spell. We have to tell them about the truth about the warlock is not the man. The warlock is the condition of Big Mama's bank being shut down. It's locked during the war.
Right. It's fire.
The side effect is what we call rampant poverty.
That's fire.
We're not used to poverty over here. That's not normal to us. The poverty being part of the have and have nots of the New World Order. If you type that in, that's a book too. The have and have nots of the New World Order. It's also called Crystal Globe, the have and have nots of the New World Order. But it's based on the principle to have a dirt poor class that you could use for a slave class and a filthy rich class that they can serve. That's it. That's the New World Order. So it wasn't going to be no people in the middle. Good old hard working American laborers who build their life off their hourly rate from the factory jobs that they work.
Right.
Right? It's a scheme. But if we don't explain the kind game, nobody won't be able to get it. And you won't be able to break their mind free from the trap of the oppressive ideology. Du Bois got something called, in the book Souls of Black Folks, there's a section called The Warring Soul. I've referred this many times. Now let me tell you the metaphysics of the warring soul. When you are in a war and somebody has to condition you to be a soldier to fight on their behalf, they have to create an alter ego of you in your own mind. But your alter ego have to be controllable by their measure, meaning you are obedient to authority. The mechanics of it is understood. There's a book called Obedience to Authority, where the research was being done. There's another research called Zimbardo's Prison Studies. These are actual understanding studies on people that follow orders of other people. Right? The exaggeration being the Manson family or the Symbionese Liberation Army. What are they telling you? Joseph Senku was supposed to fight against Charles Manson in the Helter Skelter Wars. They both went rogue. Right? This go all the way back to Garvey facing off with Du Bois. Right? What did they say Du Bois was? He was a Huguenot.
Yeah, I got something coming up on that.
This don't mean he wasn't brilliant. When you listen, when you telling the truth about some of these people, it sounds like you tearing down their work. His brilliance is in his work. You can't say he's not brilliant, but you can say he was brilliant with an alternative agenda from the puppet show he showed us in the public. Remember, the crowd, Gustave Le Bon, get the book. If you can control the antagonist, you can manipulate the crowd. Right? The antagonist is the one they sent in to confront the protagonist, which was the original initiator of the action. Overthrow the competition. Take over the mission and reroute the ship to the direction you want it to go. This is why when you ask AI about both of these Pan-Africanists, Garvey and Du Bois, it'll tell you that Garvey's Pan-African concept was to get the Africans to tell us we wasn't from Africa. But Du Bois' concept was another Liberia movement. Everybody keep thinking that Garvey wanted everybody to go back to Africa because he started the Black Star shipping line. But them wasn't transport ships. Those was cargo ships that was being instituted for trade. But they were faulty ships sold to him. And that's what made them charge him with the mail fraud. And Du Bois was instrumental in the community rallying against Garvey, screaming for his arrest.
That's right.
Garvey wanted to form a confraternity. He wanted their scholars, they Walter Rodneys, they Frantz Fanons, they intellectuals and they freedom fighters like Sekou Touré. I mean, not Sekou Touré. That's Stokely Carmichael. But guys like Stephen Biko, they wanted them to tell us that we ain't Africans.
Right.
Right. But we had to have that dialogue opened up because we was under the contract not to come. We couldn't say it. Right. But we could say it, but nobody wasn't allowed to tell us that we ain't from Africa. That's why they limited our immigrants, and they got to indoctrinate them before they come over here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they don't even tell them we from Africa. They don't even tell the Africans we from Africa when they send them over here. They just tell them we the sources of wealth over here. You put your braiding hair salon in their community, and you're gonna be filthy.
Right. Damn, that's cold, bro.
They don't tell them these some Negroes we took from Africa a long time ago, and we rebred them into something else over here, and these is the ones that you go and suck their blood. They don't tell it to them like that.
Mm-mm. That's cold. Says go.
They never tell Africans we from Africa.
Right.
Half the Africans don't never hear about that shit till they come in contact with us. Damn. Then they be like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. They don't know what we talking about, no goddamn African slave trade. 90% of them, the only ones that come over here talking that is the ones that was indoctrinated on their way over here.
Oh, they in on it.
Yeah. Ain't nobody thinking about us until they get ready to leave where they at from being miserable where they at. Then they listen to everybody else asking, where's the best place in the world to go if you downtrodden, oppressed, beat the fuck up, abused, misused, and mistreated by your government and your people? Oh, America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. Where you can go and work your way up, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and become somebody. Don't none of that shit work unless you come through us. You got to always come through us to be a success over here. I don't give a damn if you're the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. They toured with Little Richard first.
That's right.
He the one turned them on to the puppet. See, the game is being played, but we being played because we don't know the game.
Damn. We'll see.
I came to get a game away for free so I can spoil all the BS. So when you see these people, they're doing two different things. Garvey's Back to Africa movement culminated in something called the Bang Dong Conference. The Bang Dong Conference is when all of the melanated people of the planet went to come up with a counteroffensive to this shit called white supremacy. If there's no understanding of the attack that you under, you have to fall back and examine it so you can figure out a defense system. Right? First you have to find where is it codified, what game is they playing, and what is the rules to the game they playing. If you don't know that, then you playing the game without none of the rules.
Right.
How you expect to win?
Right.
They can cheat or play by the rules, and you can't win if you don't know the rules. Because you won't know when they playing by the rules or when they cheating. So you make them write it down. See, when they write it down, you can go back and point back to this is what you see it. And that's how we come up with the receipts, following the oral tradition to show you what they already said. Go ahead, read it out.
Oh, let me read this one right here first before I read that one. The last little part about Du Bois and his ideology. It says Du Bois believed that this intellectual and moral elite should become teachers, politicians, and business leaders through a top-down approach. They would guide and uplift the remaining 90% of the black population. Yeah, so that's going along with his 10% ideology, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's he's making them puppet masters now. You
right.
train the puppet masters at 10%.
Okay, so it was education versus okay. All right, this is the part I want to read right here. All right, let me read this one. We'll come back to these. It says William Du Bois he went to the University of Harvard, and we already know about Harvard is where they indoctrinate all their front man, Harvard and Yale, right? So what so-called black man, you know, way back then was going to Harvard unless he was some kind of puppet. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like a couple guys that went there before them, but if you go study them guys, all of them were pretty much front guys, just like Du Bois, right? He was like a protege of them guys, right? And then it says he was a member of Sigma Phi, the Boule, right?
Okay, stop right there.
Go ahead.
Go put. You know what year they was founded?
Let me tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Give me a second. I think it was 19 something, 01 or something. What year was? I got you, bro. Hold on. Here we go. Here.
I'm gonna finish show you something in real time.
It was formed in May 15, 1904.
Okay, how old was Du Bois then?
Okay, Du Bois was 1904. Okay. How? Oh, I got you. I'm pulling it up. All right. 1904.
What year was you born?
Was I'm gonna tell you right now. He was born in 1868, so that would make him 32, 36 years old.
Kind of old to be getting into a college fraternity, ain't it?
Hell yeah, 36. Yeah, right.
3 and 6 is what?
Huh?
3 and 6 is what?
9.
3, 6, 9 is the turnaround.
Man, what? He was 36 years old, and he joins his.
Can I remember? It's a Greek fraternity. He's a Boule member, though. The Boule steal people out of fraternities based on their blood. This was what they used to call the blue bloods and the brown paper bag test.
Mm-hmm.
If they couldn't see, if your skin was darker than a brown paper bag, they wouldn't let you in the club.
Mm-hmm.
This is how they moved the mulattoes to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And those are the ones that they was choosing to put in positions of power over us.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Henry Ford was a mulatto, just like Wallace Died Ford was a mulatto. Am I making it up? Okay. Now, the goal is to get a drop of blood to some people whose genetics was damaged. Or else we wouldn't have a one drop of blood doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
The one drop of blood traced back to the Anunnaki birthing rights of the earthborn and going back to the code of kings, because the bloodline determined the royal hierarchy. If you got the certain blood on a certain land, you are the premier blood of the land. That means you have a right to speak up over everybody else about what's in the best interest of the people on the land.
Mm-hmm.
But first, you have to get approval from all your family leadership, your elders above you. But you're going to get treated like shit because they tested you. The black sheep. The stone the builders rejected becomes the chief cornerstone. Why? Because it's the one that is hardest to mold, so it's the one that went through the most to be molded.
Go ahead, bro.
Right? And the one that went through the most can take in the most lessons, because pain teaches you a lesson like no other. But once you get the lesson, all you got to do is master the art of expression, and you can pass the lesson on in order to prevent other people from running into stone walls they don't have to. And that's why TLC said don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to what you used to. Go back to your tribal culture.
Mm-hmm. Hey, y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Hey, W.E.B. Du Bois was a Prince Hall Freemason. So he was all around the place when it come down to being involved with this secret background. You see what I'm saying, bro? Then
You see right there, you say he was a boule.
Yeah.
Down. Yeah. How do we know about the boule? Steve Coakley broke it all the way down for us, explained it to us thoroughly, inside and out.
All right.
He didn't bite his tongue. He didn't stutter. He produced the facts and showed you where to get the information.
Right.
So we know who the boule is. We know who the 5% nation of God's and earth told us the 10% was.
Right.
We know what Du Bois wanted to train the 10% to do, to control the 85%.
Right. Pyramid scheme.
There you go. You got to have a counteroffensive, and you got to have a dog in every fight. And if you don't know where your dog at in the fight, you can't never collect your check.
Seemed like this dude was constantly going back and forth to London too. It says he went to he had major 4 times major in London. Now this another we're gonna get to that one. We're gonna get to that one, Rod. That's another one. Now here's another connection, Rod. I could put a pattern together here that all these, why is they having all these meetings in London? Like, why you having a Pan-African meeting in London? Why not have it in Africa? Now they can say, oh, well, it's a neutral ground. It was a neutral ground.
No, it wasn't neutral.
Go ahead.
London, because we was under the occupation of the British Crown corporations, the same corporation that owns London. So of course they would go to the headquarters in order to get the instructions to know what rules to follow.
Right. The first Pan-African conference took place in 1900s, right? At the in London. Then the Congress, I think, was 1919, right? The Congress, right? So it's a difference. Shout out that boy Top Cat, because I heard him going back and forth in a battle with the brother Jafari, I think that's his name.
Jabari.
Yeah, Jabari, and he was he got Jabari because Jabari was talking about the first African Congress. It's a difference between the Congress and the conference, right? So yeah. Top Cat pointed it out. Hey, so but it's all going down in Europe and London, man. Like, and even going back to the treaty in Paris, right? So why are they making stuff on our behalf?
That's where they make. That's where the rules are coming from. That's where the dictators is dictating from.
Yeah, bro. And the 4 guys like Sylvester Williams, he was a Freemason. All these guys were Prince Hall Masons.
Yeah, so you got to go back and then understand Prince Hall.
Go ahead.
See, we didn't have a counteroffensive to anything they was doing to us until Prince Hall seen what they was doing to us. He did the same thing Noble Drew Ali did. When Noble Drew Ali figured out what the more Zionist Jews was doing, he wrote a counteroffensive. Right? It's the same thing, different chief. You got to always come up with a counteroffensive when you discover the strategy being used against you.
That's right.
You put it in the public domain so a chief in the future can add that to the other chief's information and they can put together the puzzle. And when they put all the pieces together, then they can explain the story to the tribes to snap them out of the slumber and know what they was fighting for. and how they got duped into fighting each other as opposed to fighting the real war, the occupying military force with boots on the ground called police.
Mhm.
We didn't need police. We didn't need prisons. Why we need them now?
Hey, Rod, another thing that I seen that AI pointed out was that it was more than 9 people assassinated, but 9 major leaders assassinated in Africa. And out of the 9, 8 of them were members of the Pan-African movement. Only one wasn't, and they still whacked him anyway. He was complaining about it, and they whacked him. And just so happened, the Bois is in the picture with these guys. So what's your take on maybe the Pan-African thing was set up by the laws of London to bag and tag the guys who would go against their international and Western veins being
Okay.
locked down into their necks? Go ahead.
You ever noticed that I don't go to events,
Go ahead.
right? Because they know when we go to certain events who show up.
Right.
They don't have to set it up. All we have to do is be trying to figure out how to solve the problem.
Right.
We gonna eventually come up with a think tank.
Right.
All they have to do is wait for us to assemble the think tank and tag all the thinkers that's thinking in the think tank. When they
Right.
go back home, you got them tagged already, and now you can send your operations, your Secret Service operations, your
FBI.
spies, your espionage operations, in order to take them out.
Or sabotage, then take them out.
Yeah, they go right back to COINTELPRO. The modus operandi doesn't change because the geography changed, right? We can look at Maurice Bishop, right? There's a whole lot of them we can look at that the government of America, Laurent Kabila, he was the first one that they executed when they lifted the ban on CIA homicides, state-sponsored homicides. He was the first one to die within months. About diamond mines and control of the diamond mines by the people, amongst other things.
This is the one about, I didn't know you showed this one right here to me, bro. About Haile Selassie being buried under the toilet. A lot of people don't know Haile Selassie in 1975 was buried under the toilet, man. Can y'all believe it? Y'all Rod sent me this man almost, man. This shit is crazy.
That's something else.
They were taking a shit on this man. They were taking a shit on this man for 17 years until they digged him up off from under there, man. Look at this. His remains was discovered 17 years later in 1992. Did y'all know that, man? They were taking the shit on Haile Selassie. Yeah, man. They were dropping deuces on this dude for whole. Yeah, man. Hey, Rod, what did he do to piss these guys off? Everybody get into the symbolics of it, right? But this Marxist guys, military guys who started the coup, and they captured Selassie and then killed him and put him under the toilet.
Mm-hmm. So for a long time, they just was like, they knew he was dead, but they didn't know where he was at. Eventually, they discovered this body under the toilet. That's a conjure spell.
Go ahead.
Right. So there was the way for them to bring down his empire. But they had to have a usurper, a replacement. Now remember, Malachi wrote the book, Who is Haile Selassie, went through his bloodline and proved that he was not from the black nobility of Europe called Jews.
That's right.
Right. So we know from that he wasn't one of the ones that was part of the black nobility. He was an earthborn nobility, which gave him a higher rank over the ones in Europe, which created a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was assigned to government in Italy to deal with the Haile Selassie problem. And all of them pretty much showed him respect in person when they seen him. The ones that seen him. Right? And all while they showing him respect, they plotting his demise in the background. Right? So the imperial empire of the Ethiopian government, because they done that, they showed you it was overtaken by hostile forces that's from another bloodline. They wanted him under the toilet. That's to keep his bloodline from rising back to prominence and reclaiming the throne. Right? But that's the Nipsey Hussle bloodline. They come back for their shit too. So we have a whole lot of chiefs that came from around the world to be born and raised in America to assist in the return of the whole planet back to the earthborn. And these historical identifiers is how we go back to determine who we fight, because there ain't nobody telling us. But just like me and Elder showed you, they wrote about it, but we don't know who they is. The doctrine of white supremacy is called the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion.
That's right.
That's the blueprint for white supremacy. For the ones that keep saying, ain't nobody get together, sit down and write that no, it's not called white supremacy. It's a blueprint for the takeover of any group of people. It's derived from an ancient writings of something called the Code of Thieves. The Code of Thieves was for the royal bloodlines that was relegated lowly positions, but they had the character traits of a conqueror. They can put themselves on the throne using the Code of Thieves. But it's also have all of the codes of living in the street. Right? What we call the street knowledge. That's the Code of Thieves. Then you had what's called the Ancient Code of Kings. Right? These together make up something called the Scrolls of Destiny. That was once stolen by somebody called Humbaba. Sound familiar, Elder? Okay, these are the government scrolls. They teaches you all of the conjure magic required to control masses of people through a mass hypnotic trance under some pretense of something called government. Government mean govern, mean control, mentis, the mind. We all been under mind control. Once people know and you tell them, it make their higher brain start activating to say, what am I choosing to do versus what am I programmed to do? And this is how they break free. So the chiefs have to be able to walk back through these historical events, like Haile Selassie being buried under the toilet, to remind you of who we fighting and what we fighting about, and the depths that they would go to suppress the earthborn and put somebody else that somebody God promised them that at the close of their age that they would give them their land of their own. That mean they ain't from here.
Right.
If they ain't from here, where they come from, Elder?
Shit, not from here. They come from off world somewhere.
Okay. Now, because they don't have a homeland, and they've been kicked out of 100 countries in 1,000 years, the only group of people that ever happened to.
Damn.
The only thing, this last move they played, the cat's paw, where they used non-heritable offspring from their harems as bankers. And then they teach them how to control the world without owning anything, just controlling everything.
It says right here, it says burying an emperor under the toilet carries a heavy metaphorical meaning of absolute disgrace.
Desecration.
Huh?
Absolute desecration.
Desecration. And
Historical erasure. Yeah.
And a total subversion of power. While this sounds like a literal metaphor, it is a literal historical event. And right? It's like why it sound like a joke, it's really shit really happened, right?
Okay, now look, go back up because you missed something. You missed a critical word.
Where?
You see that word subversion?
Of power, yeah.
What do subversion mean?
Supplanter, same thing as supplanter.
Yep. Jacobin. One who goes under the root in order to replace another. Go ahead, French Reed.
It says, while this sounds like a literal metaphor, it is a literal historical event. In 1992, the bones of Emperor Haile Selassie I, the final emperor of Ethiopia, and a Masonic figure in the Rastafarianism was discovered buried deep beneath a private latrine in the National Palace. He had, man, they said deep. They fucked up. It says deep beneath a private latrine. That's a bathroom for military terms, y'all. In the National Palace, he had been secretly murdered and buried there in 1975 by the Marxist military junta known as the Dread, and led by dictator Mengistu Haile Mariam. Man, that's crazy, bro. That they buried
the middle and last name is Hail Mary.
Right? Damn sure is, bro. Glad you said something. Hail Mary, full of grace.
Then it said the psychological and symbolic motivations behind this specific act provide insight into its metaphorical meaning.
Right? They literally, for real, buried that dude under the toilet, man. His people ain't want no get back for that, bro. His people ain't want to get back at them guy about that, man.
They getting back. They
like that, huh?
Look, they getting back right now. On a rolling 60. Turned around off a Big U. Covered under shitty cuz. It's Nipsey Blue. Almost like Misty Blue. Coming out the Mississippi Delta Blue. And that's a Delta Dawn. What's that flower you have on? Could it be a faded rose from days gone by? But what color is the rose? Is it a red rose or a blue rose? But whichever rose it was a rose that rose from the concrete. It's all connected. Zigzag flipping across the land, trying to find the promised land. It's all connected. Right? So when you realize what's taking place, I don't know if y'all can still see me or not. But Elder, I don't know what happened with him. If y'all can still see me, somebody throw some feathers in the comments. Throw some feathers in the comments if y'all can still hear me. Feathers up, feathers up. There we go. Okay. I don't know what happened to Elder. He'll be back whenever he figure out the issue. But all these different historical events is part of exhuming ancient history of ours that's been overlooked, right? They've been telling us where to look to find the wrong information and not to look where we already have recorded the right information. We wrote it in hieroglyphics all over the world, right? We wrote it in petroglyphs. It's left in the stones and the rocks. We left it in the mountains and hillsides, in the canyons and caves. All across the land, we know who we are. We still do the same stuff we always did. They just told us to rename it if we wanted to keep it. So we think we creating a new dance craze, a new motivator for our people when we coming up with all of these different dances. And then you have what's called regional expressions, cultural dances from a geography that's similar but different to other cultural dances. The common denominator is that fancy footwork, right? And then you come back to the numerator that tells you where you at on the land. So when you start reading what the elders left for us to understand, we can put back what was taken from us. We can cross the finish line and run this marathon to its conclusion.
Yeah,
There you go.
power.
What happened?
Man, the fucking power just cut off and then cut back on, bro. Like, cause it's lightning outside, but that bitch just, no, man, our power don't cut off like this around here. That was weird, man. Everything fucking went black. Just cut the internet, everything just cut off. I said, yeah. I already knew they was up to something though, cause we pretty much dagging them, but we already got through the slides. Now we can go through them fire ass videos, you them clips, you something. We already went through most of the slides that we needed to go, the critical shit.
We'll go through the clips and we'll discuss each one after. Right, corn.
Yeah. All right, let's roll it.
Fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of shining light. On my order, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout, which is slated to occur 11/3 upon the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta. Actionable 11/4. Confirmation to the public of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not be openly accepted. Public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of more senior public officials. On my order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition and special operator necessity. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided, as so many have fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has long been broadcast. We will be initiating the Emergency Broadcast System, EMS, during this time in an effort to provide a direct message, avoiding the fake news to all citizens. Organizations and/or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad.
Okay. So Rod, so the arrest is happening in the background as we speak, because it's another video too about that. So what's going on? So the arrests are being made because a lot of these guys, you don't see them no more in the news or in the media no more. Like, I ain't seen Hillary Clinton since they said that they got rid of her.
It's her and Bill supposed to been testifying, but them was clearly not Bill and Hillary. They supposed to, about a month ago. But look, that was a re-release from the first time he took office. That's when they originally, because they did arrest Podesta back then. Right? And this is when they came across the Podesta files. Everybody talking about the Epstein file. The Podesta files show you who killed John Benet Ramsey. It show you who, it's the Frazzle Drip video came from the Podesta files. Ghislaine Maxwell and the Podesta brothers was at the party for that John Benet Ramsey's family was having.
Huh.
The night that she came up dead. All three of them was there. But it was one of the Podesta brothers that was being covered up for.
Huh.
And they threatened to kill the girls. They threatened the girl mama they was going to kill the rest of her kids if she said something. It came out as cancer in her body trying to hold that shit in.
Huh. All right. Hey, roll this. We got some good shit right here. Let's roll this next one.
I was going to tell you, the re-release have a different meaning from the original release.
Mm-hmm.
The re-release means that the cycle has returned back to this point. It's the close of the cycle. Anything that wasn't accomplished at the onset of the cycle that was part of the purpose of initiating the cycle has to come out on the other end, on the flip. It has to be flipped out the back because it didn't make it out in the front. Right? So the thing that we would be looking for is EBS, stuff like that. But it's going to start getting progressively quiet in the media because they're not going to have political and international military news to report. So they're going to get bored. And then all of a sudden, boom, EBS. The military going to take all of that back for the people, the tribes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right.
The judges wouldn't allow it because they were all operate under maritime law, not common law. They all have British accredited register bar licenses, and they are as useful as toilet paper within Nasara. So I want to just stop there real quickly and just know that this is what Trump's doing right now. He is totally exposing all the courts. So we had his first term, he exposed all the executives, and then the second term, he through the open pen, he exposed all of the legislators. Now he's exposing all of the courts, the judicial system. So people need to understand this whole system is just being taken down brick by brick. Why 9/11 indictment was in Vegas? Well, because the gold Bismarck gold is headquartered in Las Vegas, Nevada. When George H.W. Bush was in the CIA, they stole the Japanese empire's gold and hid it in the Philippines. When George H.W. Bush left the White House, he worked with Bismarck gold, and they dropped the Japanese empire's gold into a stock market. September 11, 2001 was a CIA operation called Northwoods, and it was carried out. They did it for a lot of reasons. One of the major reasons was they finally had the gold under Building 7 to pay back the British Crown and be truly free and not traded in the stock market as collateral. I saw myself traded in the stock market January 9, 2021. When I was with David Lester Strait. I got thrown into jail January 19, 2021, January 6, 2021 for refusing to walk down the stairs outside the Capitol. I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I truly believe that we have politicians inside our Capitol that are domestic enemies to our republic, masquerading as representatives. Sincerely, Mickey Larson Olson, aka Q Patriot, 21 years, United States Air Force, Iraqi war veteran, Navy mom.
Wow, man. So he ran it down, Rod. What's going down, man? How everything we thought is really going down. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
remember I told you George Bush put Bill Clinton in office, his son in office,
Mm-hmm.
and Barack Obama.
And Barack Obama. That's right. And he was controlling Reagan in a way.
Yeah, that's how Reagan got shot.
Yeah. Okay, it's back on now.
He,
The internet back on.
he was making his move for the government. John Hinckley, go look at a picture of John Hinckley Jr. and a picture of Jeb Bush when he was younger, and they look like twins.
Yeah. I remember you telling me he got illegitimate sons like Bush, Big Bush.
Yeah, because they all CIA assets.
And I didn't know. I think that I heard that Clinton was Rothschild through what's that dude name? He was a governor of Arkansas. He was a Rothschild. I think it was his name in a minute. But his mama, Bill Clinton's mama, is his daughter. So Bill Clinton is a Rothschild.
It's totally possible. I know they call Bill Clinton old man Bush adopted son.
It's definitely a connection there because they was moving cocaine Bill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then that's part of Iran Contra too. You know that, right?
Yeah. I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah. That's where they was getting all that cocaine from. From the Contras down in Nicaragua. And they were supplying them with firearms to fight the government.
Yep, that's right.
They was buying the firearms from the U.S. military.
That's interesting, Rod, that you say that because just like the recent cartel guy that just got killed, the government, we fund these guys to overthrow the government and in exchange for selling their dope, man. And then they act like they don't know nothing about it. They hands clean and they paying
all the people that own the cartels. That's Maduro. Maduro gave them a list of all of the senators and congressmen who own cartels in South America. They said they think that the people down in the land own the cartels. Most of the cartels was owned by political figures that invested in the Bush program.
Like Warren Buffett.
Yeah. So they raised up a dude from among the people to be the cartel leader, and they give him everything he needs to put him in power. So they want to use him later on to overthrow the government for political reasons. They don't like his policies and stuff like that. They use the cartels to overthrow him. That's the same way Barack Obama financed the founding of ISIS. And they was calling them ISIL troops. And the CIA was bankrolling training them. Right? Just the same way as the Mossad trained and created Hamas. How in the hell is you training and creating your enemy? That don't make sense.
Right.
Unless it's something else they're playing, we don't see the game.
Right.
So I'm coming to give you the game.
They ain't their enemy. That's they pawn. They pawn guys.
And the 48 laws of power say, if you don't have an enemy, create one.
Right.
You got to create a boogeyman to polarize the people to fall under one banner. Right. So you coming in as the assigned protagonist to stir up the crowd. They're going to create your opposition, but they're going to allow you to overtake your opposition in the presence of the crowd, which is going to seal your control over the crowd as the victor. Right. And they playing mind games with us. But if you don't know the game, you can't see how it's being played. Fifth dimensional test for a reason.
That's right. That's right.
Well, next now.
That's all playing out.
What is the factual history of the United States and how did we get here?
Diane, are you going to take that or am I?
Oh, no, you go for it, Tim.
Okay, the factual history of the United States. Everything was going well until the Civil War. And everybody thinks that the Civil War was a conflict between the North and the South over slavery and so on like that. Well, it wasn't. It was about corporations. It was a corporate war, just like all of the other wars that the United States has been involved with. It all started there. And after the Civil War, they never went back and formed the Federation of States. The British territorial came over and they started putting in their own government. They never told the people that it had to be reconstructed after the war. So since then, Britain has been putting in their agents and their, governments or whatever. The government that we have now does not belong to us. They're a foreign government. They don't even belong in our soil. Attorneys, and they're the worst, they work for the Queen. Anytime you get an attorney, they're there to screw you out of as much money as they possibly can. And they always tell you, hey, we're here for you, but it's total opposite. They're here to gouge you for as much money as they can possibly get. They're trying to keep everybody in America broke. That's why the so-called government, we call them the de facto, is totally foreign. In fact, most people don't know this, but the elections on November 3rd of this past year, whether Donald Trump or Joe Biden became president, on November 5th, the municipal corporation that they were being elected president for was liquidated. So they would have been president for 2 days. So it's all a scam what's going on now.
Now, what do you mean? But what do you mean that it was liquidated?
The United States was liquidated. It's a corporation. And we also have the United States of America, territorial. They are in bankruptcy. So they're both corporations. The United States, Inc. That's what the president of the United States runs for. He's running for president of a corporation. That'd be like you and I going out and say voting for Burger King to who's the top dog at Burger King or McDonald's. We're voting for people of a corporation to run that. So it's all a scam. They have no money, none. The 160 trillion in debt is owed to we, the people. We are the owners of the land and soil. Everything that is here, we have paid for through our supposedly taxes. Okay? You don't have to pay taxes. Taxes are voluntary. It's all a scam, just like this COVID thing. It's a total scam. It's all to hide the fraud of the elections.
Right, man. That pretty much said everything you said, man. That paleface said the paleface said what you said. They said they gonna make Noju Ali said he gonna make the paleface tell us the truth.
Yeah, because look, as long as we don't know that there's a foreign occupier, we won't never tell their ass to leave.
Go ahead.
Because we got the right to do that as collective tribes. The only thing is, we can't be just one tribe saying it. All the tribes got to be like, we want our shit back.
As a whole, yeah, right. That's right, right.
So when they see us making certain moves, the tribal membership give us the support in the reclamation process, because the competency of following the oral tradition is showing them the way out of the situation by following the tribal traditions.
Hey, y'all hit that like hit that subscribe.
Yeah, which takes us all the way back to the old ways, the tribal ways. Then you can use the oral tradition in the right by announcement of the blood and the right to execute what you know is right. If you are a heritable heir and you speak up on your behalf, it might take a while, but your voice gonna be heard across the tribes, and somebody gonna help you figure out how to solve their problem. That's what we got. That's all we were trying to do is solve the problem. But see, some people get so much attention living with the problem, they don't really want it solved. Because if you solve it, they don't have nothing left to complain about.
Damn, that's deep.
If you take all the problems away and you put us into the way we supposed to be living, half of us too lazy to earn our own living with our own hands. As in growing food, cleaning our own wild game. No, take me to the grocery store. Well, what you gonna do when there ain't no more grocery stores? Because there ain't gonna be too many of them for too much longer.
That's what Booker
Especially if
T
they
was
keep
trying
finding.
to replicate.
Look, especially if they keep finding human meat in the motherfucking grocery store on the shelves.
Right, man. I'm telling you. Hey, that's what Booker T was advocating at the Tuskegee Institute. He was teaching people how to skin animals, how to make your own shoes, how to make your own, grow your own food.
That's
How
tribal
to,
education.
yeah.
That's tribal
That's what they.
education.
Yep. That's pretty much what he said. He said there was a tribal government in exile. That the Tuskegee Institute was a tribal government in exile. That's what the AI said.
And why do you think they did the syphilis experiment in Tuskegee?
Right after probably 15 years, right after Booker T died. They did it 15 years. They started exterminating them people in that area that Booker
What
T
do
had.
syphilis attack?
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead, right?
What do syphilis attack?
Go ahead. I don't know.
The brain.
The brain. Okay, go ahead. Damn, that's cold, boy.
Why would they want to attack the brain? It's biological warfare at its finest.
Damn. I ain't thinking about. I'm gonna do one on the Tuskegee experiment next, since I just did the. This is my question before we go to the next clip, Rod. So how do WD? Because this guy just mentioned that United States Corp was a fraud, that it was bankrupt, etc. We know all this. You already been told us this. Now W.D. Du Bois, what was his aim? Insofar as, because he seemed like to me, all roads lead back to the crown when you're talking about somebody duping us. As far as monetary wise, and so where do so you think that the legacy of W.D. Du Bois and his I gotta stop Booker T because Booker T trying to teach these Negroes how to do for self, and we need them dependent on London.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So if you look at the industrious ideology of Booker T, it was basically how to build your own shit, your own factories, farms, everything do for self type. That's the same thing that Garvey taught, Noble Drew Ali taught, Elijah Muhammad taught. The do for self. So the reason why the do for self doctrine was so powerful, because we didn't believe in farming out our labor to people until the job market became a thing post emancipation. Right? If the more of your stuff you knew how to do, the less people you need to pay.
Right.
To do stuff for you.
Self-determination.
Right. Autonomy. They talk about, women talk about husbands. If you could be married to a dude, but if he's not ruling a farm, he's not a husband. He's just your mate. Husbandry, the art of husbandry is how to run a farm, which is how to take care of a whole family of people. How to take care of a whole family of people living off the fat of the land. The character required for somebody to learn the skills refines the individual to a high degree that make him desirable to women. The working of the farm makes him physically fit. Right? The understanding of the anatomy, the understanding of the herbs, the understanding of the life cycles of the animals, understanding the science of butchery. All this stuff goes into it's too much stuff. By the time he get done learning it, it will have refined his character in the process. And this is how men was prepared under the matriarchy in order to be able to take in a large household. Remember, it ain't never been as many men on the planet as it is now. It's always been a gang of women. It's just never been this many men before. And the only reason it's this many because half of them fruity.
Damn.
They're error codes. Not area codes, error codes. They deletes. There was no pride in the development. Unless they was a convert, then that means they was exposed to somebody that was trying to defile one of the princes.
Root chakra busting out. And Liz buck breaking. All right, let's roll that next one.
Listen.
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one. So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China with 1.4 billion people. We have 350. Nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally. But let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million. We were paying 500 million. It seemed a little unfair to me.
My man literally took a step back and said, "Fuck it. We're just gonna launch the World Health Reserve." A lot of people not even aware that right after the Hansa virus, the norovirus happened literally days after. And I know we've been listening to what fucking Bill Gates said he gonna do. I know that they know that something is coming very soon, bro. Flu season is on its way after the summer. They are going to try to profit off of this shit. And now it's literally our chance to go up with this shit. We're talking about a $5 to $6 trillion industry. I need y'all just to read this. Understand, opportunities like this do not come often. Literally just today, the World Health Reserve had popped up. And I already know where they going with this shit. What do they say? You want to be in early. I don't think y'all understand. I literally sit here every day, all day, scaling and watching to see what the next fucking play is gonna be. Mainly because when Trump be doing shit, he literally creates millionaires instantly. Do not be mad at me because I'm trying to help you. People that have been listening to me since 2019, gang. I'm talking about waking up out the matrix. I've been helping niggas out all the way. I truly believe this could be our chance to go crazy, bro. Just look this shit up. I'm gonna literally be talking about this shit every single day because I'm gonna show y'all how this shit go. This shit is serious. Watch. Oh my
God! What you on that, bro? That's interesting, man. The world, Trump cutting off the World Health Organization, who actually been pretty much bamboozling us from on a lot of different shit, not just that one thing. They've been doing allowing foods that's banned in other countries into our country, patent diseases.
Yeah, remember, he been cutting us off from all of those international organizations that America been funding, but ain't getting no benefit from.
I roll that next one since I think you still
the exchequer of all of the earth-wide Federal Reserve banking systems in each country would be handed over to one Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump is not, Mark, just the executor, the exchequer of the U.S. Treasury and therefore the Fed within the United States. He is the exchequer for Earth. He is the exchequer for the treasuries for every single country on Earth. That's what I told you earlier. No human being in history has ever been more powerful, owned more things, or richer than Donald Trump.
And we are working on that as we speak. We have conversations with various representatives of China. I believe that will all work out very well for everybody. China, Japan, the United States, and everybody in the region. As far as the currency devaluations, I've been complaining about that for a long time. And I believe that we will all eventually, and probably very much sooner than a lot of people understand or think, we will be all at a level playing field. Because that's the only way it's fair. That's the only way that you can fairly compete in trade and other things. And we will be on that field, and we will all be working very hard to do great for our country. But it has to be fair, and we will make it fair.
Since the establishment of the Rothschild banking empire that runs the world today, many have tried, many countries, many presidents, many leaders, many individuals, many corporations have tried to topple and escape the Rothschild banking empire slavery system, because that's what it is. The problem we face is that most of us suffer from cognitive dissonance, and that cognitive dissonance prevents us from believing or digesting information that we get about the origins of money, how it's made, how it's controlled, who creates it, and how it runs the world. And the Rothschild banking empire, how they've woven the spell into the education system. It's such a beautiful and easy thing to realize why they could succeed. JFK started to print the United States notes. He did pretty much very much the same to what Donald Trump did, except he didn't have the support. He was all alone. Can you imagine how JFK must have felt when he started to print the United States notes? He couldn't talk to the media. He couldn't get his message out to the people because the media is controlled by the people that run the Fed. He's just stolen the Fed from the banking families that own the media.
And that's Executive Order 111. They got him picked off, right? The silverback notes.
Yeah, it's called the Silver Certificate Notes. The United States Reserve Silver Certificate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the same guy. Go ahead.
And he had too many enemies to take on the war of fighting for the people on the level that he tried. You got to remember, he was at war with the mob because they helped him get in office, and he didn't honor no deals with the mob.
That's right. The Teamsters, all that. Go ahead.
And matter of fact, he sicked his brother Bobby on him.
That's right.
As the Attorney General, he was like, Robbie, get them motherfuckers.
They put a bullet on his ass too, though. They put a bullet. Go ahead.
Yeah. And he was killed by the police.
Mm-hmm.
They blamed Sirhan, but Sirhan got rushed. He didn't get to get his shot off. The police shot Bobby. He did that shit on purpose.
Hey, man, why would they pick W.E.B. Du Bois as their main guy to stimulate the black educational he was the main guy. Go ahead.
What's his bloodline?
French Huguenots and Dutch. Yeah.
Who was we originally fighting in New York?
The Dutch masters.
The Dutch. Right.
Damn.
Who was we fighting across the Louisiana territory?
The French.
Okay. Where'd they go?
Damn. Right.
I told you. The people we was fighting as tribes of this land came over here as conquistadors and Huguenots. They came over as English gentry.
Mm-hmm.
The Dutch and the Portuguese are smaller countries they tagged along with the French
Mm-hmm.
in an alliance,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when they got over here, we gotta remember the Mongolians came in what's called the South Pacific slave trade.
Mm-hmm.
They brought them over here specifically to replace us. And then they
Mm-hmm.
re-educated them.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave them one of our big mamas to pass our heritage down so we could get it back just by listening to them talk.
Mm.
Every one of those reservations had got an old lady that's the big mama. It started off with a heavily melanated big mama. Like the Anasazi big mama. She was damn near midnight black in complexion. And she taught sewing and weaving. And her totem is the spider, specifically the black widow.
My next question, Raw, is how can we trust the Pan-African movement when all of them, all the guys, the founding guys were Freemasons, and the Masons are told a lie about certain things that they got going on, so they liars. The ones that's bad, the bad ones are liars. So how could we trust anything when the whole foundation and the root of it is the fruits of a poisonous tree, dealing with W.E.B. and all that? How can we trust anything about the Pan-African movement when eight of the nine guys, well, 8 guys that was involved as the African leaders, they all got whacked. All the guys that was involved, that was African powerful guys, they all got whacked. So how can we trust anything dealing with this shit at this point?
We don't trust shit.
Okay.
Because of our experience.
Okay.
We were getting infiltrated by people we thought was foreign. They look like us, but they ain't us. We was thinking we was being conquered and ruled by some pale faces. We don't trust nothing. But you know what we do?
Good.
We try the spirit by the spirit to see if it's true.
Yeah, damn sure right.
You got to first resonate with it, as in, why am I paying this bullshit some attention? Let me investigate further. As you investigate further, you'll say, this ain't our shit, this some foreign shit.
Right.
People love to bring up the cities that's named after cities in the Bible. But all of them too lazy to pull up what year they was named that name. And that'll tell you that those are not the biblical cities, but the cities named after biblical places in order to get the illusion of some chosen people of God bullshit to make some people better than the rest of the people. That's not how the tribes over here operating. Under the matriarchy, if the baby had a question and you couldn't answer it, you had to go to somebody till you found the answer and take it back to the baby. Because your obligation as an adult is to teach the children. If you don't know the answer, you got to come back with an answer for the babies.
That's right.
That's just part of your. When you get to be the elder, sometimes you got to come back with answers for adults because they're still mentally babies.
Wow.
That's what they call shepherding the flock.
Okay.
It's all about. It's all about espionage. It's about artificial overlays to ancient sites in order to give you an artificial perception of where you at on the planet. It's just some more bullshit conjure. It's a weak one too. That blood shit though, that blood conjure, first blood of the righteous shit, that's some powerful shit.
Man, what do you say to the people who are Pan-African guys listening now and they starch down in it. They like Umar Johnson. They so far that even when they hear the truth, they can't turn back and say, "Nah, man." Even
That's
though
the
that's the
character.
truth.
That go to
Go ahead.
character. That don't go nothing to doctrine. I go to character.
Go ahead.
Some people want to be better than other people so bad that if they hear any perceived superiority doctrine, they ride that shit like they're trying to break a wild motherfucking Bronco.
Go ahead.
And like Dr. Umar, knowing his heart of hearts, he can't wait to get him a white woman. That's why y'all always calling them bunnies. He just ain't went hunting yet.
Damn. Cracking domes.
Look,
Damn.
I tried to help Dr. Umar, but his arrogance got in his way.
Hey, but wouldn't if you got a licensed doctor's degree, if you go out saying shit that's outside of what the license contradict, that could get you in some trouble, right, Rod?
No. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, big baby. Freedom of speech.
Oh, that's right.
He can speak on anything that he wants to, but he can't practice anything he's not licensed to practice.
Okay.
It's a difference.
Okay.
So you take an auto mechanic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on the side, he got a hobby of breeding fish. But he's certified in auto mechanics. He been breeding fish longer than anybody else around, so they ask him questions all the time. So he big material on breeding fish. He's not a certified fish breeder, but he know more about it than the certified fish breeders because he's been doing it longer than all of them. He's a certified mechanic, though. See the difference? So if he learned psychology and he have a socio-political viewpoint, he can speak on his socio-political viewpoint separate from his practice as a psychiatrist, psychologist, or whatever kind of doctor you are. You're allowed to have personal views. That's part of being in the free will universe. Can't nobody tell you what you have to believe. Right? Can't nobody jihad you into believing some shit under the threat of the sword, crusade you into converting to the church. You don't. That's not flying no more. Right? So that brings an end to the worship of the warship. If they can't force you to convert, then you can only convert by your level of intelligence and what you actually believe in your heart of hearts. The sudden conversion take place when the aha effect hit you when you cross-reference an information. And then you start asking questions, right? Why is it 16 crucified saviors before Jesus Christ cursed graves? Right? Which devil is we running from?
Right.
Every culture got a different devil. So which devil is we running from? Whose cultural boogeyman are we scared of? Where do it come from? What's the philosophical origin of his presence? How do you know when he's present and when he ain't? How do you know how to fight this damn devil? Right? So if you don't know what you're dealing with, you have no way to mount a defense against it. So a lot of people think they know what's happening in the world because they up to date with the 6 o'clock news. But in the spiritual sense, there's so much more going on than what the 6 o'clock news can even filter to you in a reasonable amount of time.
That's right.
We read the codes because there's patterns in the universe. If you watch the patterns, they repeat. The repeat of the pattern tells you when the next time the pattern gonna come around, you know what to look for. You might have to let the cycle flip 2 or 3 times for you to get it. Oh, now I know what to look for. Every time this cycle comes to an end, my opportunity for the test to flip out is right here. Right? You watch the cycles within cycles. Emerald tablets information. Right? So you use the philosophies of hermetics to tune in the frequency. And once you understand the assignment, you just execute. You don't wait for other people to figure out your assignment. They'll figure it out when you get done doing it. Because if you're so busy doing it, you don't got time to stop and explain it to somebody who can be dedicated to misunderstanding everything you explain. That means the ones that's really listening can't get the message because you got to stop and bicker with somebody who already got their mind made up that you don't know what you're talking about. And they think because they don't know what you're talking about that you don't know.
Hey, Rod, what's your take? Because this is a question that I got to get these questions off. So when I do the AI overview on this tape, somebody said in Jamaica that they consider Marcus Garvey as a traitor. And let me tell you what they said. They consider him as a traitor.
That's not all Jamaicans.
Yeah, it's not all Jamaicans. The next thing they said, my next part of that question is they got pictures with some people up north saying that he's down with Walter Plecker. They got pictures with him with Walter Plecker. Walter Plecker's with the eugenics, reclassifying our people, paper genocide. What's your take on that? With the some of the Jamaicans thinking that he a traitor, he a Freemason, he went to London, he with all these other guys, he with Walter Plecker. What's your take on that, bro? For those guys,
off, he wasn't a Freemason. He was a Prince Hall Mason.
Okay, go ahead.
That's the first thing we got to correct.
Okay, go ahead.
The next thing is, yes, he was seen with Walter Plecker on the panel. Okay. You ain't gonna never resolve a matter if you ain't willing to negotiate with the enemy.
Go ahead.
If you sit in public with the enemy in front of your people, you let them know, I'm trying to negotiate something with this cracker here. Right? Walter Plecker had influence. Yeah. And he from a different Masonic order.
Yeah, Scottish rights.
So Garvey, as a certain rank in the Prince Hall Lodge, he have to confront all Masons one way or another until he figure out what the problem is. Remember, he's coming from Jamaica to the mainland by request of Booker T. Washington. Why is Booker T calling him to America? He needing some support because he's in a heated debate with the Talented 10th crew.
Go ahead. You own him, bro. Right.
So he going through ranks and masonry, going through the ledgers, he's able to see somebody that outranked this mother right here. And he in Jamaica. Let me ask him if he can send me some support. This is what the lodge system was used for. When you get a despot in a position and you need that position, you don't call in a person of an inferior rank. You call in somebody of equal or superior rank to deal with the brother that's going errant. So he called in Marcus Garvey to correct this Huguenot bullshit that they fight. But they don't know about the 200-year conjure until Garvey discovered it when he was on a speaking tour and he was speaking in D.C. That's when he went to go visit the George Washington Masonic Memorial and seen the Constitution in there that was written in Crispus Attucks' blood, and then he can read through the logs about the George Washington Challenge. So now he know that we only halfway through this 200-year event. And so in the speech, in this speech, he said, even if it take us 200 years, we will not lose. So he letting it be known to the perceptive mind, he aware of the 200-year blood ritual that we contract that we under that we didn't even ask for. But we still had to abide by it's going to work on you anyway because it's the righteous blood is spilled and we can't let it go in vain and be righteous. So one thing they have to always tell us who was the first blood spilled. They tried to not tell us he was native to the land. They kept calling him African. Then eventually there came out that he was a Native American and he was from the area. His tribe had been there, as well as the other three that fell with him.
I heard the Duke say that Jamaica, Puerto Rico, all these islands were part of the mainlands, even before they named it Jamaica. I got the receipt on there. I'm gonna do another class on that. But before they called it Jamaica, it was the royal port, right? And it was a vacation spot for the emperors and chiefs over here on the land. They used to go there and take vacation. So anybody from Jamaica would be classified as native to Turtle Island as well, right, Rod?
You don't remember you on several different occasions right here on Young Elders Show tell them that our big mamas on the mainland used to send delegations to the islands to get island goods and to trade and give them goods from the mainland. They wasn't separate people from us. I don't know why people think Haitians is foreign. They the same people. That's the activities of white supremacy. That go back to what's that little boy named Elian Gonzalez that they was fighting while his people was escaping Cuba, coming to America. He the sensation in the news. Several boats of Haitians came. They sent their ass right back to Haiti. They didn't want nothing to talk about. And you sitting there watching this on the news, we not paying no attention. The Haitians came after the Haitian Revolution was won in Haiti. They never closed the conjure because they came to assist the mainland in Florida with the Gullah Wars. And they went to Louisiana to fight the conjure wars. Haiti didn't leave us stranded. We left Haiti stranded. Haiti not mad at us. We mad at them for what we did to them. They sent help when Big Mama called for them. We didn't send no help when they called for us. So they got a right to look at us snooty. We got to accept the truth of the matter. When they royal family made the move to take it all back, we didn't support them. That's what made Dessalines' work stop dead cold, because we didn't support them. If we'd have supported them, we'd have been through with this shit. Because they had all of the conjure in place. They sent all of the required priests and priestesses to New Orleans to work with the Louisiana priests and priestesses of the tribes. And they sent all of the soldiers to Florida to fight Gullah Wars, boots on the ground. And now we act like Haitians as foreigners. I just think that's wrong. If we'd have sent them the help they asked for when they asked for, we wouldn't be in this shit now. You got to remember, they was exercising the right of an emperor to assert territorial rights across everybody tied to his empire. That's all of us. But when he sent out the beacon for us to support, we didn't support. because the Haitians look just like them black ass motherfucking conquistadors and Huguenots.
That's right.
And we couldn't tell them apart. So we were scared to help them. I wasn't scared. I wasn't here. Because if I'd have been here, I'd have sent them everything they asked for. Because I knew who, by the way they was moving, who was who. And this is why they wrote their constitution like they did. First, we need to stop beating up on the Haitians. They had tried. That's where they was organically originally from, the island. And the island gonna call them back, not us. The island gonna call them back to rebuild. The whole of Hispaniola, Dominicans too. But the strongest blood is in Haiti. The oldest.
We got hey y'all, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. I got one more question for you, Raw. Let me roll these last two clips and then we'll take one more question and we can be able to get up out of it. Hey, everybody hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We got about 1,500 people on. Everybody sent Raw $5 right now, man, for the class, man. Somebody sent them 25. Somebody sent them 50. And the people that got it, man, sent them 100. Somebody sent them 100 ball, put them in the game, man. Let me roll some of these clips, y'all, while we on it, man. Y'all, epic showdown tonight, y'all. Let's get into it, man.
This place looks closed to me. Temporarily out of service. This is the IRS building. Look at that. And there's nobody in there.
Hey, Ross, hey, people think you be talking out the side of your neck when you say these guys out of business, and there's another receipt. Let me roll the other one. Let me roll this other one before we
The
go
whole
on.
chapter, from start to finish. Before we begin, though, I wanted to go ahead and remind everybody who the Huguenots are. In this book, History of the Conquest of Spain by the Arab Moors, okay, with a sketch of the civilization which they achieved and impaired to Europe by Henry Copy. I'm gonna go to page, and it talks about Columbus, what his name really meant, the Christ bearer, because he brought the Christ, right? How he brought only evil to the Aborigines in America, and that to him, what he dispensed of Moorish civilization was only good, right? Moorish civilization. His vessel was fitted out in the little port of Palos, which had lately been a Moorish port. His sailors were many of them men with Moorish blood in their veins, okay? It has been asserted when the Moors were driven out, thousands took refuge in the south of France, who afterwards, abhorring the Roman Catholic persecutions, became Huguenots, all right? Who became Huguenots? The Moors. When they got kicked out of Portugal and Spain that ended up in southern France, there, all right, they became known as Huguenots, okay? Who are the Huguenots? Moorish people. Huguenots, Moors, Huguenots, Moors, Huguenots, Moors. You guys clear? And that of these, many emigrated at a later date to South Carolina. All right, that's what we're going to get into today.
It was called a Delaware. But this is the thing. That's just one group of Moors. The French Huguenots don't count all the Moors. That's just one group. It was
No,
like a set.
right. So remember, the main ones we was fighting was Huguenots and conquistadors.
That's right.
Under Spanish rule and under French rule. We
That's
was
right.
also fighting something called the gentry, which is
Mhm.
the royal underclasses of Europe.
Mhm.
Your
Mhm.
barristers, your bankers,
Mhm.
right? Your privateers, your racketeers. They are all part of the royal families of Europe.
The black nobility.
Yes, the Black Hand.
Mhm.
And so, since they was the ones that was writing the narrative, they kept us under their control by the laws that they wrote to control the narrative. That's their Levitical right, right? Because the tribe of Levi is the lawgivers. So when they came over, they institute the code of Levi called levies under the rule of Enlil called liens. They have to apply a lien on a piece of property in order to claim the rights to the property before the Crown of England or France. The Crown of Spain was overthrown and they defected into France and England and Italy. The ones that went into Italy was at war with the Sicilians. The Sicilians was the offspring of Hannibal's conquering army that was taking Rome by storm. Remember what the spoils of war was, because his soldiers was taking the women.
Booty.
Making babies.
Both ways. Both ways. Booty both
Right.
ways.
So the children of Hannibal's soldiers were exiled to the island of Sicily. And this is why Sicilians look like me and you.
Especially the originals, yeah. Right.
But the ones from from the peninsula of Italy, they call them Neapolitans. And so the Sicilians is looked at by the Neapolitan as the peasantry. Right? From Sicily, we get the tribal structure we see Don Corleone display in The Godfather. This is how La Cosa Nostra is able to use a Mario Puzo to write tribal structure so that we can recoup tribal structure. When the government study it, it's going to have a ranking system, right? To the top of the chief, which they call the Godfather. But it's only one person that can tell the Godfather what to do. Well, two.
His wife.
His mama and his wife.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody else tell him what to do. He will consider your advice.
That's right.
But they can tell him, don't fight that war, and he won't fight it. But if you tell him don't fight that war, he gonna use the rules of strategy to come up with his own decision. Because he knew something. The women was the oracles of the rulers. This is why men supposed to learn how to read their woman. Her emotional response to your physical environment is your spiritual protection. But you have to make sure she's balanced first. If she's balanced and you balance, you can counterbalance off her emotions with your intellect like the two halves of the brain working as one brain. That's like putting two batteries in a remote control. When y'all link up, y'all can change the channel on the reality in the highest form of creative manifestation known, sex magic. Spirit energy and sex energy is twins. Spirit energy descends. Sex energy ascends. If she's sexually in tune and you spiritually in tune, y'all create the circuit. So it's all part of the program. To redeem everybody, you have to first redeem yourself by finding your own balance. And then sometimes you got to give it all up in order to get it all back. To find out if you really worth your keep or if you're a good fake. A lot of people that made replicas of the Mona Lisa, but guess what? Ain't none of them the Mona Lisa.
Go ahead.
Right? They didn't copy Picasso, Leonardo da Vinci's works, Nikola Tesla, but there's no good copy that can replace the original. And that's why you never step in a great man's shoes. That's why you never outshine the master. If you acknowledge the masters that influence you, your greatness will make their greatness even greater than it was under their own watch. The student can never outshine his master. Because the brighter the student shines, the brighter it shines the master. He made this motherfucker go to the next level. That's a hell of a teacher.
Oh, yeah.
So what looked like he surpassed him is only a confirmation of the effectiveness of his ability to teach. And this is why we get a game away for free in the public domain, so other people can come along at their leisure, listen to it, learn something of value, and take it with them and teach somebody else, because it's each one teach one in the culture. Each one teach one, we all gonna reach some. Before you know it, the some becomes the few, becomes the many. And when enough of us is aware, that's called critical mass off of the 100 monkey effect. So where we at now is, we about to, it's like Dr. Kia said it better. I couldn't have said it no better myself. Quiet, 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 boom. Something happened. Look, we told y'all that it was scheduled another assassination attempt on Trump. And they had a shooting at the White House 2 days ago. It's in the schedule. That's the last one.
That's crazy.
It's the same stupid way that the first dude did at the West Wing.
When they found him, they got him on the ground, ass cracked naked with some fall on him. He had fall on. Yeah, they put fall on. Yeah. How you gonna go in shooting at a guy, then the next scene we see you on the ground, ass cracked naked with nothing but a pair of socks on, and they covered him up with some fall. Man, that shit was.
And that's not what he had on when they showed the video of him running past the guard with the gun, though.
Yeah, yeah, right. So how he getting butt naked? Did he strip ass crack naked?
All that's coded. When you notice those anomalies, they there for you to notice.
Makes sense.
It's central casting. What is aluminum foil famous for in the conspiracy community? Tinfoil hats, right?
Right.
Tinfoil hats. Why do they wear tinfoil hats? What they trying to do?
Repair?
Right. What they trying to reflect?
The sun?
No.
What?
They wear tinfoil hats to stop the government for shooting rogue ideas in their brain.
Go ahead.
They have equipment that's through the MK Ultra program, right? They had this dude named, I think his name Jose Delgado, created an implant that could make a raging bull stop in his tracks. That was back in the 30s or 40s somewhere, 50s. Imagine how advanced the technology is now.
Oh yeah.
Now they discovered through vibration and frequency and sound that if they know what the frequency is of the mind control mechanism in the brain, they don't have to have the hardware. They can do it remotely with software.
Yeah, extraterrestrials do it. The Greys. Go ahead. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, now, if they know how to hijack your brain, whose bidding have you been doing this whole time? And that's why you have to know yourself.
Damn. You know, so Roy, I heard somebody else talking about that, a scientist, and they said that when people that smoke weed, they hard to mind control with that device that they got. They said because I don't know, I can't remember exactly how he explained it, but I know he said that the
THC
weed
makes you resist. THC make the mind resistant to mind control. They discovered that in the MK Ultra experiments, that it was one of the worst things to use to try to control somebody's mind. Because it make you think harder than if you're not smoking. And if you are a thinker, you can't be controlled, because when they try to interrupt your thought process, it exposes the interruption as not your information. So they don't like it for you to smoke marijuana, and they don't like it for you to use profanity, because profanity is like a hypnotist snapping their fingers to regular people. That's why the holier than thou people, they so hypnotized, if you use profanity around them, they have a whole meltdown.
Right. So do.
That's the conditioning. You breaking their condition, you offending their conditioning. That's why I came out using as much profanity as possible. Because if you can get past the motherfuckers and the bullshit that I'm spitting, then you can hear the actual facts I'm dropping.
Profound is what the real name. Profound.
Then that's how you bypass. That's how you get information past the barriers.
That's right, right.
You wrap a piece of truth in a couple of motherfuckers, and then to get past the conscious mind, only the subconscious mind gonna accept it because it's the truth.
Go ahead.
But the conscious mind gonna reject the motherfucker part. So that's not gonna go straight to the subconscious. But the truth part in the middle of the two motherfuckers is going to go right past the conscious mind into the subconscious in order to start piecing together the puzzle in your mind. That's why Big Mama used to have a fire mouth back in the day. Because she knew you was under a hypnotic trance that only a couple of well-placed, you rotten son of a bitch, get your stinking ass out there and clean that garage. Gonna snap you out of it.
Yeah, I'm told it is.
It's gonna catch you so. What'd you say, Grandma? What'd you say, Grandma? I'm about to do it now.
It's so
and
true,
in the back of your mind, you're like, damn, I forgot all about that goddamn garage. It snapped you out of the motherfucking hypnosis.
Yeah.
Look,
it's on that game.
I've been dropping books all through the show. I'm finna give you another one. It's called The Hypnosis of Life by Roy Masters. If you don't take nothing from that book, it's one thing you take. No hypnotized person under hypnosis knows they are hypnotized. And based on the post-hypnotic script, that's what you tell them under hypnosis to follow when they wake up. They might never know they was hypnotized if you order them under hypnosis not to remember they was hypnotized. Then that take you to what's called the advertisement, subliminal programming through advertising. One thing connects to another. Remember the Coke and popcorn experiment in the movie theater?
Mm-hmm. The Coke and Pop experiment.
Right. So that's when they learn how to effectively implant subconscious thoughts in the middle of a movie plan that you never perceive with the naked eye, but your subconscious caught it.
Yeah, Doc broke that down. So, yeah.
Okay, now, once you understand that they can feed thoughts into your subconscious mind, how do you defend yourself against it would be your next logical question. You need psychic self-defense. One of the things in psychic self-defense is called psyche self-defense, which is the protection of the mind. You have to write your own program and say for 21 days what your program is until your subconscious log it in. Repetition. Make it your script. Mine was, I see all deceptions. Just that simple. You can't deceive me because I know who I am. If my frequency don't match with the bullshit you sending me, I'm going to see the deception.
Right.
By me already knowing how to read tarot cards, when I started the script, it used the tarot to expose the fraud. When I see the deception coming in, it can give my subconscious the feedback using tarot card imagery to warn me about the obstacle I'm about to be faced with.
Mm.
And that's why they told us that reading tarot cards was evil. Because it's teaching you how to read the energy. And once you can read the energy successfully, they can't trick you. Now you just got to go back to determine, you got to have what's called a litmus test. How do I determine if it's working? Do you realize that you're starting to reject information just because it don't feel right and don't sound right? Then when you say, why did I reject that? You go back and cross-reference it and find out that it was some bullshit to begin with and that you seen the deception in it. It didn't mean what they told you it meant. It meant what they wanted you to believe. And that made you reject it. Whatever the reason is, you can write what your perception is that's going to tell you the deception is present. But you have to program your own mind, which makes the program stronger than if another person programmed it, because you would rather program yourself naturally by nature.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
That's why people in the craft of writing and casting spells would rather write their own spells than to use spells from ancient grimoires. Because the one that you write from your own mind with your own heart and soul, that's the one that's going to be the most effective for you.
With the chief, yeah.
That's just the basics of magic. We lost all this stuff. We used to know this stuff by the time we was like 16, 17, we was master magicians.
Right. Especially
not illusionists, though. It's not the same being a master of illusion like a David Blaine.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They are masters of illusion, but David Blaine more of a mentalist, and Chris Angel more of a illusionist is David Copperfield, making the elephant disappear, and that motherfucker right there behind the cabinet over here, but you don't see because the curtain trick, making the DC-10 floating across the Grand. All that's illusion and mentalism. That's not magic. Sleight of hand is not magic. Magic is when you can control the energy field.
Magnetic.
Right. You know how to move the energy in the energy field in order to produce a result using nothing but your power of spirit and self. But you follow the old rituals, because the rituals is the training model to help you focus the energy best. But you can write your own. If you write your own and you live by your own code, you're going to be better at it because it's yours, for one. It's going to work for you better than anything else can work for you because it came from your essence. Just principles of magic.
Hey, y'all, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. This is the last question I got for you, Roy, because I need it for the AI when I do the AI overview. Some people said, and the AI brought this up too, because when I told them to tell me stuff that people were saying against Booker T. And the only thing they had against Booker T, and W.E.B. Du Bois used this as one of his key points, is that Booker T indirectly took money from the Rockefellers and the other guy, the rich guy that was Rockefeller's homeboy. So but if you study it, he got it from the General Educational Board, which was started by Rock. He ain't get it like, oh, went to Rockefeller, let me kiss your ass, give me $2 million. Nah, he got it indirectly through the General Educational Board. But people,
here's something a lot of people don't know: era difference.
Go ahead.
Right, the people with the money had to put so much money into programs. Because remember, this is pre-IRS era. Right. If you study Khalil Gibran, right, the Lebanese poet, he was being financed by a couple of women. Right. He they would pay his room and board and pay for his living expenses as long as he continued to write. Right. A lot of writers in history had what they call sponsors. Go back to Josephus Flavius. Right. The Flavians hired him. They even gave him their name. Right. So those writers always had a financier, right? In order to, because everybody didn't know how to write. You know, it used to be a job. You know how you go here, a nightclub singer?
Right.
You used to go listen to people read books. That was a job. That used to be a library lobby job. You work in the lobby of the library. Then you sit in the lobby, it got a little bleacher stand, and you used to read books. They don't do that no more. Everybody wants you quiet in the library. You only was supposed to be quiet in the reading section. Meaning where people reading silently. But out in the library, in the lobby of the library where the bleachers used to be, why do you think all them old libraries got that big rotunda entrance? That used to be the reading area where the readers used to read to the public because people didn't know how to read. Then they came out with some shit called radio, and then they came out with some shit called TV. Now you don't need readers no more. They gonna get it off the radio. They gonna get it off the TV. That was part of the minstrel scene. The minstrel scene, that was all matriarchal theater. Love stories all the time. All war stories ended as a love story. That's why the hero always get the woman at the end of the movie. He be tearing shit up through the whole movie. Then he get the woman.
Right.
It's the hero's journey. The fool becomes the hero in the hero's journey. Clark Kent becomes Superman.
Right.
The goofy one become the Man of Steel. The Iron Man.
Blank Man.
You see?
Hey, bro. Better get up out of here. I just want to say this. I remember you just talking about the women being the oracles, and then as soon as you said that, I thought about the movie 300s when Leonidas, when they came to Leonidas, and he said, "You brought the heads of conquered kings to my doorstep, and you think it's a game?" And then he look, he was about to get ready to kick him off into the hole, right? But he looked back at his queen, and then she did like that right there. When she did that, that nigga turned around. Oh yeah, I got to go ahead now, nigga. I got to go ahead now for my old lady. That nigga kicked that nigga. What he saying, bro?
This is Sparta. But that's how it went. Because if she would have gave him the no, he wouldn't have did it.
Right.
But all of his soldiers know if he make a move, you make a move too.
Right.
Most of us don't know that the Spartans is a rewrite of the Mohawk Indian.
Go ahead.
If you look at their headgear, even if you look at the symbol for the Michigan Spartans, they got a Mohawk on their helmet.
That's right.
That's because they not the real Mohawk. They replica Mohawk. That's something that's tribal to over here.
Go ahead.
And they went back. That's what you call revisiting history. They retrofitted all that shit. Because they had to take away from the concept of who we were. It was all done through academia. That's why the slave ship diagram is the perfect layover at Notre Dame Cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they came up with it in the university. Oxford and Notre Dame is Scroll and Key.
Go ahead.
The Scroll and Key sister organization is called Skull and Bones.
Go ahead.
Scroll and Key is the ones who write the script to unlock the vault. The Skull and Bones is the pirates who set the flags up on the battlefield.
Go ahead.
Right? Then the marquee ship. Know the word marquee. Marquee is a royal rank. The marquee ship is the head ship. Right? The head ship is the lead ship. It's the number one pirate ship, but it don't wave a pirate's flag. It waves a flag of the Marquis who command all of the pirate ships. So all of his now you under the law of the flag in admiralty and maritime on the high seas.
That's right.
And that's why every country that got a navy have what they call a flagship, a main ship.
Right.
Right? That main ship is the ship that holds the country's admiralty power to roam the seas. And that's the only ship that can't be captured and you stay in the war. The marquee ship for the British occupation was the Senate. The captain's seat was Pelosi's desk. J6.
I hear you.
We sunk our battleship.
The sermon.
Yeah. So now we got rid of the admiralty, following the oral tradition, seeing what we need to see in the public domain to express the victory. We didn't went the last mile of the way. We didn't cross the finish line.
That's right.
Now we just waiting on everybody to catch their breath before we enter the winner's circle. Because, once we enter the winner's circle, that's when we get presented with the trophy of victory. And Nipsey blew rolling 60.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's trues and vogues. That's 30s and spoke wheels on 2 rims. He must be in the low rider because his front end is in the air while his ass on the ground.
Shoot shots. Shoot shots.
That's an up and down motion.
Front, back, and side to side.
Right? That's a 4-corner shuffle. Right before the take flight, that's a 420 flight. A red eye on the late night. For a 440 turnaround on the West Coast turnaround. That's a 619 to a West Coast pop. Right? That's a zigzag flip across the land, flipping through wrestling, hip hop, and other things. Right? So we just dropping the jewels so that they know that Thanos ain't the only one that can bring an end to this shit.
That's right.
So we collected the jewels. And what's the jewels? The jewels is the honeypots. The honeypots is the bees that got the honey. That's the ones that wear the hive on their head. Because she bees in the trap. She bees in the trap. That's the girl next door. Right? She bees in the trap. The honey trap is the money trap. And the money trap is a money pit. Because once it go in, it never come out. Right? It's like a black hole. That's the perfect description of a JJ, where the babies is created. An incubator on a universal manifestation level to show you who is God, because she's still creating in your face while you watch her belly swell. Mama don't take no mess. Papa didn't raise no punk. And Mama said, don't let nobody take nothing from your brothers and your sisters. So now I'm back for everything they owe. So my brothers and sisters, they had their shit. But first I had to put Big Mama back in her position so we could put matriarchal order back on the land. Right? Because that's the way it's supposed to run. And if you put the plate pieces where they're supposed to go, I think the machine will run the way it's supposed to run.
Right.
Right? You can't put the alternator where the transmission go and expect to have a functional vehicle. It's just not going to happen.
Right. Hey, Rod. Hey, y'all, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, man. We had about 7,000 people on tonight, man. We want everybody to send Rod $5. Somebody send him 10. Somebody send him 25, man. 20, whatever you got. Show them some love to the next time we come back on. Somebody send him 100. I know somebody out there got a couple hundred, man. Send him $100, man. Put him in the game. Bless his game. Man, this was a good break there, bro. Because we don't got nothing on this particular window. We got a lot of stuff like branched out around this topic, but the W.E.B Void thing was a big thing, man. Some guys out here think W.E.B Boy was their savior, man. You know, he was a savior to the so-called black race in America. Whole time he was selling us out and funneling us, backdooring us to the crown. He was backdooring us to the crown.
As long as we was under the contract, I don't call nobody a sellout.
Go ahead, Rod.
We was fighting against each other the whole time. Okay. If they was already fighting against the tribes of the land, they not selling out, they doing their part.
Okay. Yeah, that's why you look at it like this. Shit.
Right. So if they doing their part, I'm not mad at them for doing their part. They shouldn't be mad at me for doing my part and blocking their ass from telling them lies to my people. Right? So you take what the enemy taught, you take what the friendlies taught, and then you shuffle that shit until you get the truth out of it.
That's right.
Then you point out what you see. You might see something nobody else don't see but you. But that's the oral tradition. We put it in the public domain so other people from other tribes can test the information, examine the information, reject it or accept it. It's their choice. That's about giving them. That's about giving them the game. You can't force a motherfucker to take the game. You can give a motherfucker top flight game. You can't force them to take it. But if you give it freely and they can see the benefit in it, they can see the truth in it, then they should be able to use it for their advantage if they got any get up and go about themselves. I can give you all of the pieces to the puzzle, but because I'm not in the room with you, I can't put it together. Right? But the pieces that I put together, I guarantee you see the picture.
Right. That's right.
Game, peep game, baby. Bow to the truth.
Hey, man. We staying on them, bro. Hey, look, y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, y'all. If you're new to the channel, man, this is an epic banger, man. Chief just cracked heads. You got to roll it back. I'm gonna do an AI on this, man. An overview, man. Already. Hey, check out the Dubois AI breakdown, the Web Dubois breakdown. Rod sent me all the receipts, and these receipts is in this tape to go along with that tape. Also, right before I put this, right before we did this one, I put out the Booker T tape too, and we already got the one with Marcus Garvey. So I got Marcus Garvey, the Booker T AI, and the Web Dubois AI on the video side in reference to this tape right here, y'all. So go check that out. And if you want to get more information on it, right? And pretty much, man, we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back with another one, man. Everybody said Chief something right now, man. Show them some love, man. You ain't gonna miss $5, $10, man. You gonna spend it on candy or a beer or something anyway. So send it to Chief, man, so he can get him a beer. Hey, look, y'all. Man, look, man, we love you all. Right? We love you all, right? When we send divine love throughout the boundless universe. The matriarch will rise and has rise. Risen. This is the return of the matriarch, the return of the ancient ones, y'all. Free Dr. Malachi New York. Free Larry Hoover, man. Free Jeff Fort to El Rickin. Let the three chiefs walk. We out, y'all. One love, one heart. Peace. Wadu.
Wadu.
Never have it been made so clear.